Here's a conversation reflecting on Chapter 12, When the Lens is Applied.
Welcome. Today we're diving into a really compelling chapter from Mark Firehammer's book, The Lens That Changes Everything.
Chapter 12, it's called When the Lens is Applied.
And the central idea here, the thing that really stopped me in my tracks, is this claim that maybe we don't need new answers for our most persistent struggles.
No, exactly. He says we need a new way of seeing them.
And a new way of seeing.
Yeah, and I think what Firehammer's getting at is that we all have this, this default lens we use, a sort of hyper-individualistic one that makes us look inward first.
So if something's wrong, it must be my fault.
Right. Things like burnout or loneliness. We treat them as these singular personal failures. But the clarity he's talking about isn't a new insight. It's more of a powerful recognition. A recognition that the problem might be the conditions, not you.
But wait, that pushes back against a lifetime of being told that it's all about personal effort and responsibility, right?
It does.
He's really arguing that when our best effort isn't enough, our go-to conclusion is self-blame, not that the structure itself is broken.
Precisely. And his first example is the burnout epidemic. So the conventional view is always, you have poor time management or you just need more self-care.
It's on you to fix.
But this upstream view he presents, it just completely reframes it. Burnout stops being about depleted motivation and starts looking like overwhelmed regulation.
Overwhelmed regulation.
So if you, listening to this, feel like you're constantly running on empty, the chapter argues that feeling isn't some kind of moral failure. It's your living system responding exactly as it should when it's treated like a machine.
In systems that just reward speed and being constantly available? Wow. Okay, so the exhaustion points outward.
Exactly. It's a clue about the system, not a verdict on you.
So if that's the mismatch in how we work, how does this lens apply to how we create? He brings up the starving artist archetype.
We see the exact same tension. He calls it a quiet mismatch.
Oh, quiet mismatch.
Yeah. At its heart, human creativity is relational. It's about making meaning together. But we try to force it into systems that are only designed for scale and extraction.
Systems that only ask if the work performs financially, not if it's meaningful.
Yes. So the moment your dedication fails to equal success, the shame can lift. Because you see that the tension is structural. It's not a failure of your talent.
And I imagine this connects directly to the loneliness epidemic, too. This isn't just about someone failing to seek contact.
Not at all. He says it's the predictable outcome of connection being. And this is his phrase, stripped of its regulating role.
Okay, what does that mean? Stripped of its regulating role.
It means the conditions that we need for contact to feel real, to feel safe and stabilizing. Things like mutual attunement and just being present with each other, they're often absent.
I see.
Loneliness becomes the outcome when our connections are reorganized around these superficial rules that just don't meet fundamental human needs.
Okay, so let's tie this together. What is the big takeaway here for you, the listener?
Well, the synthesis is really powerful. When you have one lens, one single shift in perspective that suddenly makes sense of identity strain, chronic exhaustion, and pervasive loneliness.
You have to start seeing the pattern.
You have to. As he says, what looks personal begins to read as patterned. The chapter really stresses that the problem was never your effort. It was the conditions you were asked to carry alone.
And understanding that, it relocates the source of the failure.
And crucially, it lifts the shame that comes with it.
And Firehammer traces this whole inherited lens back to what he calls civilization's shortcut.
Right, the foundational myth of separateness, this deeply rooted idea that we as humans succeed or fail entirely alone.
Which seems to set us up for exactly this kind of trap. So I guess that leaves one final thought for everyone to mull over. If so many of these shared struggles aren't actually personal defects, but are traceable to these structural rules we inherited before we could even question them, what shared cultural belief about success might you need to examine next?
Thanks for listening. Before moving on, take a pause and read the next chapter. The conversation for that chapter will be waiting here when you're ready.